Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be showing you that how basically we can create a GitHub OAuth2 login system inside React.js and Node.js and Express. So basically this is the demo of the application that we will be building here, and if you load your React.js application you will see this login with GitHub button, and as I click this button guys, I will be redirected to this consent screen of GitHub, where basically I can select grant access to this application, authorize. I can click this button, and as I click this button guys, an access token will be generated and you will see the code right here in the browser, and then we will exchange it with the access token, and then we will get the user information right here. So with the help of this access token we will make a GET request to the GitHub REST API to get user information of the currently logged in user. This is a profile picture, username, GitHub username. This is the name of the person, email of the person, total number of followers of GitHub on GitHub that user has, location, and the link to the GitHub profile. So it is clickable. If I click it, it will be redirected to the repositories of GitHub. This is my GitHub profile. So basically this is the complete login system. We will be building OAuth2 system in React.js, Node.js and Express. And also we have a logout button guys, which allows you to log out. As I now click the logout button, you will be redirected to the home screen. So if I refresh, it will stay right here. Once again, if I log in, now I will not be getting that screen again, that information. That access token that you see right here guys, it is stored inside local storage. If I show you the application tab, you will basically see a entry added which is access token. This is the same access token which is inserted right here in the local storage. We are detecting automatically if the access token is present inside the local storage, then we are automatically logging the user and displaying the profile information. So we are storing this access token in the local storage right here. And now the beauty of this guys, basically if I close this tab, if I close the browser and again if I type the same URL, it will automatically detect that the user is logged in and it will automatically show this page to you. So this is the power of storing access token inside your local storage, because we are automatically detecting that access token is there. As I click the logout button guys, what will happen? This access token will be deleted from local storage. Now you can see no access token is there. It is deleted. So that's why we are redirected to the home page. And now again, if you will see access token will be again be generated. A random access token every time when you click the login button. So basically, if you go to GitHub developer account, we have this application there, client ID, client secret. And basically, we are developing this application. First of all, you need to go to developer settings. You need to make a new uh, uh, application for this. Provide your homepage URL, authorize callback URL as well. Just make this sample application and then we are using it. So we are developing this application inside React.js, and we are using this dependency fetch API in React.js. This is a module node fetch, which allows you to basically use the fetch API inside Node.js application. So it's a very popular module. 37 million downloads, weekly downloads are there. And we are using the Express web framework for this application. All the source code guys is given in the description, so if you want the full source code you can go to the description and purchase the full source code alongside with the directory structure. This is the directory structure it has. We have basically the client folder, and inside the client folder we have basically all these files, app.js. This is the React.js code, and then we have our Express.js code where we are basically writing the server side code. So this is a complete full stack application. We will be building this GitHub login and logout state system from scratch. So let's start the video and let's start the project. So now guys, the very first step is basically just go to your GitHub developer settings and just go to this URL, which is github.com/settings applications new. Here we need to register a new OAuth application to get our client ID and client secret. For this, we just need to give a sample name to our application. We need to provide a home URL. Our React.js application will run on this localhost 3000 port number. So we have given the home page URL. If you're running on custom domain name, then you will give the full address of your domain name, home page. You can pick any callback URL. For this application, callback URL is not needed. And click this option, click register application. So after you register it, you will get your client ID and client secret. Just generate the client secret. So just copy this information in a separate file. You will need this information. So don't copy my information. This will be unique for you. So now let me delete all this code guys and start from scratch. Let me also delete here and here also let me delete all that stuff and start from scratch. Let me just write here hello world. So basically now guys, if you refresh now, hello world will be seen here. Hello world, if you see right here, hello world is seen. This is our React.js application which is running here. You will see that. And just now make a client ID variable guys and basically just paste your client ID that you get right here. Simply copy this client ID. Simply paste this client ID. And just after this, what we need to do right here, we will basically have a simple button here. This button will simply say that login with GitHub. So whenever you basically click this button guys, we will basically execute this function. So we need to write this function, which is login with GitHub. And right here guys, what we will do right here inside this function, we will simply here redirect the user by using window location assign. And here you will use https github.com/login/OAuth. This will be the consent screen guys. Basically here you will grant the access to this application /authorize !client ID, and here you will pass your client ID. That's it. So now if you make this change, if you refresh the application, if you click this button, you will be redirected to a screen right here guys. It will say authorize sample login name app. If you authorize this, you will get your authorization code right here. If I click authorize, you will get this OAuth callback here. This is a callback URL that we specified. You can see right here. We get your authorization code in the URL. So we need to get this URL, this portion, this authorization code. So now how we can get this authorization code, guys? This is very easy. For doing this, it's very simple. What we need to do right here. Right here, we will basically have a use effect hook. This will be basically be imported from React. It's a built-in hook. It automatically executes whenever your application data changes. We will have no dependency here. Inside this guys, what we will say, query string, we will make a variable and we will basically get window.location.search. So we will get all the search parameters which are there inside the URL, and then we will construct a URL parameters object, new URL search params, and we will pass the query string. And then we will extract the authorization code guys by the get method. So this is the code we are getting guys. Code is equal to, we are getting this portion right here, authorization code. And basically if you console log it, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. If you inspect element, go to console. Click that. Now you will get your authorization code right here, guys. This portion we are getting right here. Now we need to get this authorization code needed to make a fetch API request to get the access token. So how we can get the access token, guys? It's very simple. First of all, we will basically make a if condition here. If code and if the access token is not present inside local storage, we will basically check local storage get item access token. So if the access token is not present inside local storage and code is also available, in that case we just need to make a simple function which will get the access token for us. So this function will be asynchronous function, and inside this we will make await fetch call to the backend server, which we will make later on. This backend server will run on port 5000, and this request will be get access token, and we will pass the code here, authorization code right here. And in the options we will basically pass here the method here will be get method, and here we will get the response right here, guys. We will need to convert this response to JSON, so we will say response JSON, and then we need to basically convert the data. We can console log the data which is coming right here. So this data will contain the access token, guys. So now we need to make this request in the backend server. How we can make this backend server, guys? It's very simple. Just initialize the a package.json file, just npm init dash void. So this will create this package.json file. And right here inside Visual Studio Code, you can basically make a new terminal. I have already opened that terminal, so let me show you. You can just make a new terminal here. One terminal is always there. You can see it is running on this application on port 5000. So npm init dash y, you can make that, and then you can install these dependencies which are CORS, Express, and Node Fetch. So these are the three dependencies which are needed for this project. So now you can basically start your project node index.js. So I can say that node index.js. So nothing is present right here inside this file. So now we should have, first of all, write some code right here inside this file. So first of all, we will import the Express module, and then also the CORS module as well. And we will also be using the node fetch module, guys. So we need to import something like this because node fetch, we need to basically use it as a required statement. So that's why we are writing like this. So this is present inside the documentation, how to fetch this module inside ES module way. So we are doing like this. Let me just paste this line here. So this basically, it's a little bit complicated, but it is making sure that we are using the node fetch module as a require one. That's all that it is doing. And then we also need the body parser middleware. So it's built in inside fetch. You did not have to install it. And now we just need to basically declare the client ID and the client secret, guys. So all these information you can get using your uh, GitHub account. So basically here this information is present, so we will simply copy this. This is the client secret, so simply copy paste this information right here. After this, guys, we will simply initialize the Express app. We will basically start this application on 5000. So now we just need to basically make that request, guys. Before that, we just need to pass the CORS middleware. and also the body parser middleware. Sorry, this needs to be used because we need to use this middleware. That's all. So after this, guys, what we need to do, we need to make that request access token, get access token. So this will be a async function, guys, and inside this we will get the parameters that we need to construct. These parameters, first of all, the client ID is equal to client ID, and then the second information will be client secret. This will be equal to client secret, and then, guys, we will need the authorization code as well. So code is equal to, so the code we can simply get using request.query.code, because we are passing this code. As you can see, we are passing it as a parameter here. You can see code is equal to code. So now we are simply catching this code right here by using request query code. That's all. So after this, guys, this is our URL parameters, and now we need to make a simple fetch request to the GitHub server. So we'll say github.com/login OAuth slash access token, and then we need to pass these parameters, and then this will be a get request, sorry, post request to get the access token. And then we also need to pass some headers, guys. This headers will be accept application JSON. So we need to get the data in JSON format. So this fetch request, guys, returns a promise. So we need to convert this response to JSON first of all, and then again it will return a promise holding the data for us. So we now simply need to return this data as a JSON response from the server, from the Express server to the React.js client. So we are using response.json function to return this data back to the React.js client, where we are console logging the data. So if I refresh the application, what will happen, guys? If I refresh the application, click on this button. So now if you see, guys, nothing happens. Oh, we need to start this server, guys. We forgot to start the server. I need to go to the mod here, sorry, inside terminal, just start your Node.js application. So it is saying that code is equal to invalid left hand side in assignment. Okay, let me check, guys, what is the error. I think here we are getting some error, guys. Let me check. Okay, let me paste this line. All the source code, guys, is given in the description. Sometimes some errors can take place while you live code. Let me paste it. So this is basically the thing, guys. You can correct the code right here. If I now refresh, so now you can see app is listening on port 5000, and if I now refresh, uh, let me check, guys, what is localhost 5000, and here we are basically making a, okay, we haven't basically called this function, guys. So we need to call this function first of all, get access token. We haven't called this function, so that was the mistake. So now we need to call this function and again click this. So what will happen, guys? Basically it will make the post request. Let me check, guys. It is making the post. Get access token. I think this was the thing right here. Let me paste this code. Let me paste it. Just wait. So this is basically the code, guys. If you see here, we are simply console logging the data. We are making a post request, a get request to the backend server, which is running on localhost 5000 get access token. We are passing the code here. You will see that. And then we are calling this function, which is get access token. So if you now refresh, I think I need to revoke all access. So let me revoke the access and then again try. Again, we need to authorize. Let me console log data. Let me check, guys, if we are making this call, making the call to this function. Okay, we are haven't calling this function, guys. That's the problem. Let me check, guys, what is the error. I figured out the error, guys. The error was very simple. Basically, inside client ID variable, you need to store the client ID correctly because I stored the incorrect client ID in my React.js application. So inside client ID needs to be the same in both the React.js and Express server right here when you declare these variables. So simply copy the information that you create right here, whatever client ID and client secret that you get. So now if I refresh the application, if I click this button, you will basically in the console, you will see automatically, if I refresh here, let me revoke the access here and just go to the URL. So this consent screen will be there. Click on that. And then if you see, I think automatically access token is saved here. You will see that, guys, the access token that you see right here. Access token is currently saved in the local storage. I need to firstly delete this access token from here and also revoke the access. So if I click this one, so now this response will come right here in the JSON response, guys, which basically contains this access token. So this contains this property data.access token. Now we need to save this inside local storage. So how we can do that? It's very simple. Inside app.js, right where we get this information, we need to simply save this access token inside local storage. So how we can do that? We can simply have a if condition that if data dot access token, if this property exists, in that case we need to store this set item as access token and then the access token which is there, data dot access token. This will store this access token in local storage and then we can basically declare a state variable, guys, which will render the process. You will call this as re-render, set re-render. Initial value would be a boolean which will be false. So we will call this function basically set re-render and we will make the opposite to what is the value of re-render. So either if the value is true then it will make it false, if the value is false then it will make it true. So after this, guys, after storing this token inside local storage, now we need to call a function which will actually get the user data. So get user data, we will make a function, and now we will define this function here. This will again be a async function. This will get the actual user data such as profile picture, total followers, name, email, all that stuff. Again, we will make a fetch call, this time to the backend server, and this will be called get user data, and here we will pass it, the method here will be get. Also we will provide headers, and here we need to pass our access token inside this request, guys. So authorization bearer, and then we will basically pass this from the local storage. We can get item access token. So after we get the response, guys, this will need to convert the response to JSON, and inside the data we will get the profile information about the user inside like this. So now we need to make this request, guys, get user data inside our backend server. So app.get get user data. Again, this will be a async function, and right here inside this request, guys, what we need to do right here, we need to say request.get authorization. So we will get the access token from here, request get authorization. We'll make a fetch request https to the GitHub API, api.github.com/user, and here we will provide a simple method of get. Headers, we will simply say authorization, and this we will get request get authorization. So this will get the access token which is passed here. We will pass it to the authorization header, and now we will basically get our promise. Again, we need to do the same thing here. We need to pass this as JSON response. We will say response JSON data. So the same thing that we did for the access token, we are doing it for the profile info. Now we will get the profile info of the user in the client side inside our React.js. So if I now cross check now, so click on this button, and now in the console you will see, guys, basically it is saying that bad verification code. The code passed is not correct. For this, again, you need to do the same thing, guys. Revoke access and go to your application, delete this access token. Again, do this process, authorize. So I think it is saying that access token is not correct. Authorization. I think basically, guys, we are calling this function at this moment of time, get user data. If the code is present in the local storage, if the access token is present inside local storage, then we can even need to call this as well in the else block, get access token. Sorry, get user data like this. Yeah, so in the else block also, you need to add this code right here. Yeah, that's the correct code. You need to add a else block as well, because it basically check for this condition if the access token is not present for in the local storage. If it is present also, then also we need to call get user data as well. So I think some error has taken place. Oh, We forgot to basically start the server, guys. That's the problem. Uh, Inside, we are not using nodemon. We need to every time restart the server whenever we make any sort of changes. That's why node index.js. So start your backend server. Now it will work. So it will return the profile information, guys. You will see avatar, URL, biography, blog, company created at, email address, followers, URL. So all this information that you see right here, guys, we need to display this on the screen. So now the process is very simple. We just need to display this information in our React.js application. So for this, we can basically make a user, set user, and use state. Initial value will be an empty object. So just make this uh, data variable right here inside, state variable. And now we will use some conditional rendering inside React.js, guys, some JSX. So for doing this, first of all, we will say set user to data and that's all. So now we will basically show this button only whenever we are logged out. We are not logged in. So here you'll use some JSX. So you'll first of all get access token, local storage. If the access token is present inside local storage, in that case, we need to show the user profile information. If it is not present, in that case, we need to show the login button. So here, just wrap this, all this right here. Just close it right here. So here, if the access token is present, then we will say you are logged in. And here you will say login with GitHub. So yeah, that's a correct one. So conditional rendering, guys. So basically here we are checking if the access token is present inside local storage, then we will say you are logged in. If I refresh right here, you will see you are logged in because if you check inside local storage, the access token is present. If I delete this one, now if I reload, no longer we will show. Again, this access token is present. Delete this. So now you can see login button will show because no longer the access token is not present. So again, we need to click this button. So we need to bind this on click listener. Whenever we click this button, we will execute this function login with GitHub. Now you are logged in because the access token is there. So now guys, we will also be showing a logout button as well. So whenever you click this button, we will simply call this function logout. So what this function will do, we will remove the access token. For removing it, we have the remove item function, guys. We will remove the access token from the local storage. And also we will call set re-render to whatever is the value like this. So if you just refresh, log out, now you can see access token is deleted. If I log in, access token is generated. So you can see that we can toggle it. The nice thing is that if you close the browser, again open the URL, it stays. It automatically detects that you are logged in. If I log out, again close the window, again open this, it will automatically detect that you are logged off. You can see that. So now we need to display user profile information, guys. So it's very simple. Now we have the user object inside this, so we can say user info, and inside this we can display the name is, and here we can say user.login. So user, basically we have set this user. User is an object. You will see name is got. You will see that. So all this information we can get. We can get the email address. Email is user.email. You can see that. Similarly, we can print out the number of followers, country, location, all that stuff. So you can see that. So we can also print out the profile information, guys. So we can simply say for image source, I think we need to say here user.avatar underscore URL, I think. User dot, okay, we also need to provide a width of the image, 100 pixel. Avatar underscore URL. So what is the problem? Let me again refresh. So now you can see, just need to refresh here. You can see that your profile pic has also been showing here. So just align it better. So basically, guys, this is the application. And lastly, we can even have the link to the GitHub profile of the user after this, just here. User.html underscore URL. So a GitHub profile, we can redirect the user to their respective profile. So you can print out all such information right here. So this was a tutorial, guys. So you can click logout, you can log out, click login. Again, you will be redirected. You will see that. So it's a very simple, complete GitHub OAuth2 login and logout system using access token in local storage using Fetch API in React.js, Node.js, and Express. Thank you very much for watching this video. All the source code is given in the description of the video. You can purchase the full source code alongside with the directory structure. Thank you very much for watching this video.